Morning, it's Saturday in Terlingua, Texas, and I'm here at the building site for my cabin. The old shed has been cleared now. This is where one of the old posts was, right here. You can see I've saved those. They're still good. The end was rotten off, so just cut that off, but these are really nice. I believe they're cedar posts, but a lot of the wood was junk. It's just going to need to be burned. So you can see here we got quite a bit of firewood, and today I wanted to bring up the concept of building orientation because it's really important out here in the desert. It's important really anywhere you live. You've got to orient your building correctly to optimize solar gain and to avoid too much heat, in our case, too much solar intake, shall we say. So I've got my phone here, using it as a compass because it's pretty easy to read, and 180 degrees is going to be due south, right? So right there, that mountain, they call that Cone Mountain, is pretty much due south from where I'm standing. And the building that I have in mind is going to be a 24 by 32 foot cabin. Now, we want to put the longest side facing south and the shortest side facing west. And really the most important part of it is the west facing wall, because I want the shortest wall of my building to be facing the hot afternoon sun. So if your building's not a perfect rectangle, if you're doing something different, you'll want to orient the shortest wall to that hot western sun. That's when we get all our heat, during the afternoon. So when the sun is in the sky, so I'm gonna get my little compass out again. When the sun is setting, and during the summer, it's gonna be setting right over there. So that's Pink's Peak. So about from here facing Pink's Peak is gonna be that 280 degree, or 270 is due west, right? But during the heat of summer, it actually will set at maybe 285, maybe 15 degrees off, so it's not going to set due west. So what I've done is, we have here, this is one of my corners, this little rock right here, and the other corner is over there. You can kind of see a stake over there. So what I did is I dropped this plank, this board, next to another one of the post holes, right? So this is kind of, this doesn't have to be super specific, but I just want to get a good bearing. So I'm placing my phone kind of evenly on this board. So we're at about 282. So, or my shortest wall will be facing pretty much due west, a little bit north of that. So if we're gonna go due west, it's gonna be 270. So right over there. So that's due west, but the sun doesn't set right there. It sets over there. And really it's just about getting that shortest wall pointing in that direction, and insulating it as much as possible. I don't want that sun to get into the cabin. I want to keep it away as far as possible. Another benefit to doing this is to realize that on the eastern side is going to be all shaded. So if I want to have a garden, like a small little garden, in this little strip here, this will be a 24 feet of shaded area during that hot afternoon sun. So part of the plan on this site is to create enough space from the edge of the building, which will be about right. See, here's my other stake. So this will be the northeastern corner, is to have enough room between here and the drop off to have a little garden. So that looks like maybe 20 feet about from here to there. And I'll probably have a deck too. deck as well right here. But you know, as I said, that's the western side, that's the eastern. So, you know, building orientation is not just about blocking the sun as much as possible or orienting to the sun for us. It's also thinking about where to plant a small garden. So I wouldn't plant it on the western side because that would get super hot and only watermelons would survive there, which did great last year, but my other plants didn't. So building orientation, super important when planning, and I hope this helps people when they're designing their homes. Also, if you have a camper, camper's usually long, so they have a really long side compared to maybe the 8-foot ends, right? 8 or 10 feet ends, however long your camper is. So you want to face those the same way. You want to put the longest side towards the south and the shortest side to the east and west. In these hot, treeless climates. I mean, I have some trees here, but they're just small. You can't see them from here. And up here, they're non-existent. We have creosote, we have mesquite, and that's about it over here. So there used to be trees, but they cut them all down back in the day. See, this looks like it would have been a big tree. Look at that. It's pretty big for out here. And there's the mesquite next to it. I don't know if this is mesquite or what that was, but there were trees. But since we don't have any trees to use for shade, we've got to use orientation as a tool to stay cool during those hot summer months.